Another week without a sitting Speaker of the House. The world's going to hell in a hay basket, and the Republican Party just shot itself in the foot yet again. Find out how. I don't think anything could have prepared us for what is going on in Congress right now. A little civics lesson again. We've got the executive branch, which is the president and all the cabinets. We've got the judiciary, which is the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeals, circuit courts, and we've got Congress, Senate, and House of Representatives. It's the House of Representatives that's having a problem, particularly one caucus or one party in the House. That's the Republican Party. It started off as an infight between two individuals. Two became eight, and those eight set the stage for Speaker McCarthy, like him or love him. He was able to herd these bunch of cats, these feral cats, and at least get some legislation pushed. Didn't go as far as this country needs, but hey, at least the doors were still open. Here we are, day 6 of war with our biggest ally. They're fighting a war of survival after some very disturbing pictures were shared online of babies being butchered in Israel. It's distasteful to speak of, but they're going to need more aid. Add to that what's going on over the wall, the humanitarian aid that the Palestinians are definitely going to need because of all the bombing and retaliation for those children and babies and young adults being butchered. There are still people who are not involved in any of the dealings of Hamas that are in Palestine that are going to suffer the same fate. But the United States role and our role as taxpayers is to pay those taxes that we pay and have a certain amount of those funds shipped over to our allies to aid them. Well, that's not happening because Congress is the holder of the purse strings. Steve Scalise was one of the ones who wanted to try to mend the policies or the broken promises of the Republican Party in the House so that the House speakership chair can be filled once again. It is still vacant. Steve Scalise dropped out of contention and didn't sound real good from what he said. Let me just go ahead and read some of what he had said. He says, and I quote, "There are still some people that have their own agendas. And I was very clear. We have to have everybody put their agendas on the side and focus on what this country needs." That doesn't sound like you've got any harmony. Nobody's singing Kumbaya during these Republican-only voting sessions. And this from a man who once described himself as David Duke without the baggage. Yeah, that's where we at right now in the United States House of Representatives. We got a potential Speaker of the House that compared himself to a Ku Klux Klan leader. And of course, there's Mr. Jim I Don't Need a Jacket Jordan that is still in contention, or at least his name is in contention for the speakership. But it's looking more and more like there's just not any end to this hostility within the Republican Party. You know, until they can get their act together, they can't even really effectively fault the other party, as this is a in-house, internal Republican issue. You know, I don't mind the fact that you know, you have these disagreements, but you should be able to walk and chew bubblegum at the same time, and you shouldn't hold the country hostage. For that reason, I'm starting to change that org petition to at least stop the pay of what these congressmen and representatives will normally be receiving, at least suspending it just the same way as federal employees who were facing that delay in pay when the government shuts down. They had no problems with that, and that's still on the table come November 23rd. We need to have that same kind of attitude when it comes to the pay of congressional members and see if they can have that sense of urgency to get somebody in that seat. Maybe if they couldn't make rent in those really expensive apartments in DC, you know, maybe they might reconsider. Anyway, as always, all money and not all congressmen are good congressmen. Watch how you elect them. I'm going to talk to you later.